It's my great honor to introduce Jason Mosbrucker. I misspelled your name in my book.
It's okay.
It's because your nickname, right?
It's common. In Germany, it's
no, not misspelled, but I wrote Jason Ray, I think.
Oh yeah, from the online, that's right.
Your nickname. Okay, so when did we met?
We met officially last year here.
Yeah,
I think it was
FabCon,
the first
right.
time. Yeah.
You won a spool of
Yeah,
filament.
because I won the
So
spool.
he's a guy I met last year in the internet, and he won a roll of filament for, I think you guessed how much there was in a big shipment. We were pretty close.
75 kilos, I think.
And then we discussed in some Google Plus thread the idea of printing a burger, I think. And I thought he was joking. But several weeks later, he came up with something, and now he's presenting his current state of development. So, yeah, please give a little bit of round of applause for Jason Mosbrucker.
Okay. Well, thank you, Florian, for having me. It's really an honor to come here and support the community, because I've gotten a lot of support from the 3D printing and RepRap communities. So, botBQ, that's why I'm here. The open source 3D printing barbecue, eventually. Right now, it's just an extruder. It's still prototyping, and it's more than hard to me to start this process. So let's start it now. So this is my amazing Photoshop skills of the very first botBQ prototype. With the photo credits here, just a printer on a barbecue. Now, it's going to be more than that, but today I'll go into who am I, why is there even a 3D printing barbecue, or there will be, a little bit of the design process, prototyping, the current extruder that we're using, the future of the barbecue, a little bit of history of 3D food printing, which hashtag 3DFP is what we commonly use in the community, and how I think 3D food printing may be able to save the world. And I've got a short video from TNO about that as well. So this is me. This is a picture that my mom throws in my face all the time when I was younger, just to embarrass me. And so I thought I'd throw it up here just to break the ice a little bit for myself. So I was born in America. I live here in Germany, right outside of Frankfurt. I've done a lot of things. I was a soldier. I've made pizzas. I'm basically just an average guy, and I just got into this stuff over a year ago, just a little over a year ago. So to go from absolutely nothing to, building a printer, being part of the community, prototyping an actual item that some may find useful. I have an amazing family, Katie and Zoe, here in Germany as well. I'm addicted to open source and RepRap, and I love food, and I'm not an engineer. I'm just a normal guy. So if anybody's discouraged, one thing you can take away from today is that if you can do something, or you think you want to do something, just do it. Don't hold back. Just go and just start. And you can connect with me everywhere at botBQ or at Jason Ray. So why does the 3D printing barbecue exist? So these people you see here are a big part of it. So the reason why it started was we were on a thread about Marc Morset's photos from last year's FabCon. And we were discussing Marcus's event up in Frankfurt, the open source 3D printing convention. And in that event, I opened my mouth, and you'll see what happened. But Marcus is an amazing guy. I suggest everybody go check him out. Gina, I think you just saw her with Octoprint. She's really pushed me. Everybody here has really pushed me and helped me, build this. And it may not seem like something crazy large or something that's going to change the world, but maybe somebody has an idea that this can help out with or can pull something out with. Because I know there's some people in here that I actually pulled some ideas from to help, build this. So in May, I opened my mouth and I said straight up, let's make the world's first barbecue printer. And then I came up with the botBQ name. I don't know why. And then from then, it was just a roller coaster. And every couple weeks, they were checking in with me. And Florian actually laughed his butt off and didn't believe it was even happening. And it happened. And then in September, we released it. So This is just your average, everyday cake extruder. You throw some cake icing or something in there, and you can extrude it. So I went from this to actually trying to get the shape that I wanted to, and then I ate it. So it wasn't a hard process to do. So if anybody thinks prototyping is hard, it's not. You just have to do it. And then in September, I finally got the hamburger housing, is what I call the cake housing here, and the actual idler block here ready, and you'll see what happened here. Hang on. This was the very first time that I had even hooked it up and got ready to go and tried to actually print a hamburger. And it was exciting, and I would think I was a little bit too excited there. And that's Zoe. She was really excited also. But this whole time, what's going through my head is, I can't believe this is going to happen, and I'm ready to go. It's exciting. I'm going to show everybody, I did it. I did it from absolutely nothing, and we're going to have a hamburger printing out. Yeah. So that was really kind of exciting, but it's all about failing. One of my good friends who's an engineer said, it's all about trying and then trying and trying and trying and trying. So at this point, I wasn't ready to give up, so I did a reload. I don't know, hamburger reload or whatever you want to call it. And we went at it again, and it took me a good few tries to finally get something that worked, and all these videos are out there on botBQ.org. You can check them out too. But I just didn't give up. Here's some of the original prototypes here. Oh, excuse my messy office as well. But this was one piece. I probably printed about 20 versions of the actual extruder block here. This piece, which when I was designing it, I also wanted it to be super simple, so it's not hard. All you need to do is print the piece and get you some type of syringe, and eventually I have some plans to make it parametric, so you can adapt any type of syringe size to your own and make it work. That scared me too when nothing was coming out. Now that doesn't look too appealing. Anyway, so then in October, I published it, and I put it up on one of the sites. In November, I actually I documented everything. I kind of wanted to make it as easy for anybody to get involved in 3D food printing or paste extrusion or even 3D printing in general as I could. So I did screenshots. I'm not an open source developer, so I did the best I could. And everything I thought would help somebody jump into it is up there on botBQ.org. In December, I put it out there actually as open source. It's just Creative Commons license. Anybody can download it and use it. And I hope to have the parametric version out by the end of the summer. So don't knock on my door, but I'm going to try my best. And then I was really honored to have Florian actually put it in the book. It blew my mind right there to actually see something like that in a book, And again, it was only, less than 1 year what happened. These are some of the early sketches that I did. Again, I'm not an engineer, so my 3D modeling skills aren't too great. I still use Tinkercad on some parts, and if anybody knows Tinkercad, I highly recommend that. If you want to get involved in 3D modeling. But this is the botBQ in-home kitchen top version. So over here you have a little cooking section, It prints right on the grill, then it goes inside the oven, and then it cooks from both, and then it comes back out, and it pops it out. This is the outdoor model. So the original version that I had in mind was just a 3D printer you could take, put on your grill, and print your burgers away, you know, whatever shape, size, or whatever you wanted it to be. So this was the outdoor grill, just with some clamps, printing your designs. And then for some reason, I just can't get the idea of an R2-D2 meatloaf out of my head. And I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to print an R2-D2 right there. So a bit of a brief history on 3D food printing.
And kept home from school, huh?
Oh, no, you don't. What would you like for breakfast?
The usual.
The usual coming up. Milk, cereal, crunchy or silent? Better make it silent.
And some bacon.
Bacon.
And one soft-boiled egg.
And one soft-boiled egg.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank goodness that's
There it is. The Jetsons had it all right. So back in 1964, Isaac Asimov predicted automeals in his 2014 Worldview Writing, excuse me. He didn't phrase it that way, but his ideas about the kitchen were similar to instantaneous meals creation, and I read that as the very first idea of 3D food printing. And then, of course, we have the Jetsons, and then this year, we had the trending vending machine, the Oreo printer. I don't know if you guys saw that. I believe it was at South by Southwest. I actually talked to those guys a while ago, and those are some really, really smart guys. And that machine blew me away, too, with the whole GUI interface and the consumer experience about it. These are some examples of some other 3D food extruders, paste extruders. These designs all had a little bit of inspiration on me. And you know, especially this one here from the Joris with the cables and the pressurized. So I couldn't get too deep into air compression or anything like that because I just didn't have enough time to go to school and learn all about that stuff. And eventually we may experiment that. Actually, Luis Rodriguez, 3 Digital Cooks, is currently going to experiment with air compression food extrusion. But Rich Rap's paste extruder, I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen that. There's been a few different versions of that. 2Print Beta also made a version of that. The Ultimaker syringe extruder from Joris is amazing. The parallelistic extruder from Lewis is a great idea. The problem is that it's very difficult to pump hamburger through a tube so thin. And maybe you can expand the tube size. And then you have the Moino extruder there, which is a really cool idea. The only problem is you just have to keep jamming hamburger inside of it to get it to print right. So the future of 3D food printing from Star Trek.
Tomato soup.
There are 14 varieties of tomato soup available from this replicator, with rice, with vegetables, bowling in style, with pasta, with
Plain.
Specify hot or chilled.
Hot. Hot, plain tomato soup.
It's not going to be that hard, trust me. It's going to be so easy to have your food printed. This is going to be nothing. But by 2025, maybe a little bit later, there's going to be edible, actual 3D printed meat. The progress is already happening. There's people putting tons of money in it. Sergey Brin put a bunch of money into it. And I don't know if you can say it's artificial or what it's going to be, but actual 3D printed food with nutritional content is going to happen. By 2030, 3D food printers may be common in the household kitchens. And in about 100 years, the meals like this and the Jetsons will be happening. I'm just not sure if I'll be here to see it. This is a video from TNO, which actually, when I started out doing this project, I didn't realize the effects that actual 3D food printing could have. So, for example, you'll see here taking different textures, creating different textures from food that normally people couldn't eat, but they need that nutritional value as something that could really explode and help a lot of people. So we'll just check out this video real quick, and I didn't autoplay this one. TNO is amazing. If you guys want to check them out, Kelt Van Bommel is really something else. If you guys have watched his TED Talks or met him. So everybody needs something else, you know, and 3D food printing can help with that. And you know, you hear the rumors about, you know, the population is growing so fast that we're going to have to look at food differently. We're going to have to, you know, maybe eat something that we wouldn't be eating now, you know, in a few years because we're forced to. I don't know if you've heard about Soylent, which is the drink is the only nutritional value you need, but you know, things like that may happen. These are some 3D printed foods from TNO. These just blow me away still every time I look at them. And it's not just restricted to fused filament fabrication or FFF or fused food fabrication. So people are experimenting with all kinds of different methods to 3D print food. Sugar Lab as well from in California, those guys really do some awesome work as well with the candies. You probably saw the Chef Jet come out in January. That's a really amazing thing. It's a little bit out of the price range, so this one is free compared to $5,000 I think is what the Chef Jet is going to go for. One day I hope to actually get in front of some of these type of machines. It's a pretty high level compared to what I'm doing now, but you know, I'm getting in pretty deep and I'm developing a pretty strong passion for it. So I hope to be experimenting with various methods of 3D printing food as well. Enjoy your meal. So now I want to attempt to do a quick demo. I've got some hamburger loaded up in the botBQ extruder here, and if everything goes as planned, we should have a RepRap logo here printed out within a few seconds. And if it doesn't work, I apologize, but I'm going to transfer it over to the table back there underneath the 3 dingus sign, and then you can ask me all kinds of questions, or we can make some attempts over there as well, because we will have a burger printed today. So please give me 1 second. So I don't know if this is not really what you're going to see. It's kind of over here. We couldn't get a stream, but if you guys, there's not much space, but if you can kind of see from here, we will make it happen. Might want to take that out there. So it's been a lot of trial and error with it because it does create friction inside that tube right there. Now there's many different kinds of syringes and other types of ways to do it. This is just the way that I'm doing it now, and we're gonna have to go to the other table because that's not right. Okay. So that's a big error on my part. I apologize. So I guess you kind of get the idea with what it's doing here, but this is not how it's supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be about 6 millimeters in height. The problem here is I didn't set up the firmware correctly, and I will make another attempt here in a couple of seconds. Actually, we've got some time. I can probably do it if you guys want to stand by 5 minutes right here. So the problem is I have another nozzle tip that I use on this normally, but today I didn't want to risk it and not screw it up in front of everybody, which I just did. So I took the nozzle off and I forgot to adjust it in the firmware, and now I really appreciate your patience here. Okay. So it'll just be a second. We'll get reconnected. I'll home it again and we will start it up. So trial and error, that's kind of what happens, and this was a pretty big mistake, but you got to suck it up and drive on. So don't give up, don't quit. If you have something in mind that you want to do, just do it. At least start it. So there's some other things that some sites that I can really recommend that that people check out if you're really interested in 3D printed food. Of course, you can go to the botBQ, but 3digitalcooks.com is really, Luis Rodriguez runs that, and he really does an amazing job. He catalogs everything 3D printing food there. The other problem with trying to print meat is it's really hard on the stepper motors, and if you don't grease it up really a lot, it can burn out your motors pretty easily, or it'll skip, or they'll just be, in general, big problems. And the reason why I have a paper towel down there is because it just slides all over the glass. And eventually, once I get the actual grill implemented into the printer, it will print right on the grilling surface and cook. And sometimes you got to give it a little push as well. Some pretty fatty beef. Well, I appreciate your patience. It didn't work 100%, but you can see it functions. There's some hamburger that was just printed. And what I'll do is I'll bring it back to the table, and you guys are welcome to come over and watch me screw it up some more. So thank you very much. Thank you, Florian. Thank you, FabCon, and have a great day.